Day in high definition.
Well, we've all heard the warnings, and it's true. After starting college, students may notice that the jeans don't quite fit the way they used to. And here to help parents and the students figure out how to avoid those extra pounds is psychologist Dr. Mike Bishop with the Wellspring Institute, which specializes in helping overweight children and teenagers as well. Good morning.
Good morning, Ann. Okay. Thanks for having me.
They call it the Freshman 15, and it has to do with emotional and practical issues here, right?
Absolutely. Practical issues and emotional issues. One thing that we do at the Wellspring weight loss camps and academies is not only do we give practical advice to our participants on how to lose weight and maintain that weight loss going forward, but we also work with them on the emotional issues, therapy to get into their developing their insight that participants have with their relationship with food.
And they often carry that to college with them, and sometimes it's sort of a dysfunctional relationship that a student may have with food.
Absolutely, and I think that the stress from college can tend to increase that. What we see with young people a lot of times is eating for emotional reasons, such as to cope with the stress of studying, the separation from home, or just eating out of plain boredom.
And also eating late at night in the dorm. You're surrounded with friends. They're having pizza. Heck, you're going to join in, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's all about structure and being able to maintain those structures that you had at home and continuing that in college.
And you have to admit, the kids are going to go out. They're going to drink. They're going to be at parties. Yeah, we tell them not to, but oftentimes they do it anyway. What kind of advice would you have with these sort of students?
Well, you know, harmful effects of alcohol aside, I would say that one of the best pieces of advice we can give somebody to eliminate 20% on average of your calories a day is to just resolve to not drink any beverages with calories in it, with the exception of fat-free milk. Really, there's so many diet sodas, diet drink products out there, and water, flavored water as well. There's really no reason to drink anything with calories in it.
And the other thing, and not to mention, when you go out drinking like that, you often get the munchies and make bad food choices perhaps the next day, trying to get rid of something else that's there.
Right.
So that's another thing. Also, dorm life. My gosh, that's like all-you-can-eat buffet for every meal. You have to know when to pull yourself away.
It is, absolutely. And you have to develop those internal structures as well. One of the things that we do at the Wellspring camps and Wellspring academies is we help people find what we like to call lovable foods that love you back. So that when you go into a buffet situation, you know what you can pick, you know what you can overindulge on to a certain extent, but these kinds of foods are not going to really pack on the pound. So I'm talking about things like your low caloric density foods, fat-free foods, fruits, vegetables, fat-free soups, things like that.
And you think you're good at the salad bar, but you really have to be careful with some of those dressings and all
Absolutely.
the toppings that go on top of
Absolutely.
it.
You always recommend fat-free dressings.
Right.
Yes.
And they've made a lot of that available at the dorms.
Yes.
We just have to get our kids to make those selections too. That's always a challenge. And one other thing, how does a parent gently, when they're on the phone with their college student who's away from home for the first time, how do we gently say, well, how are your eating habits, dear? You're not gaining those freshman 15, are we? Because that can, make a student feel uncomfortable.
It could, absolutely. But I think as parents, we need to, really the first step is to send your child to college with the skills that they're going to need to make them successful. So it really begins even before sending your child to college, role modeling for them, proper diet and activity. It all begins at home.
And they're going to know it at Thanksgiving when they come home, that they put on at least half of the freshman 15 anyway.
It's true.
Thank you, Dr. Mike Bishop with the Wellspring camps. Appreciate the information.
Thank you, Ann.
And if you are interested in learning more about Wellspring, go to myfoxtampabay.com and then look under the Good Day section. When we come back, an app that can save your life. A Florida man says he